You're listening to In the Loop from Minnesota Public Radio, and I'm Jeff Horwich. This next story we've got was a real treat for us to run across for our episode tonight, The Year According to You. 2007 was Marie Ring's first year as a U.S. citizen. Now, that's not in itself so extraordinary. The U.S. naturalizes more than 700,000 people a year. What's remarkable is that Marie did it at 106 years old. The government says she is the second oldest person ever to obtain her U.S. citizenship. The record holder, by the way, was an Armenian guy who did it when he was 117. That'll stand for a while. But 106 is pretty amazing. Marie's family were Germans living in Russia. Their boat docked in Galveston in 1906 when she was 6 years old. She lives today in a nursing home in Little Falls, Minnesota. Marie is 107 now, and I drove a couple hours to visit her this week.
Man is here. He's going to talk to you about your life, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
I don't have much of a life.
Yeah, well, yes, you have had quite a life, believe me.
Marie's daughter and granddaughter came too. That's her daughter Dee, you're hearing right there. They say at the time of the naturalization ceremony, she couldn't stop talking about it. By the time I visited, she was a little more reserved about the experience.
Well, I don't know. I don't think I feel any different than I did before because I always felt at home here in America. I think it's better to be a citizen than to be a foreigner all the time.
Now, Marie's granddaughter Jody suggested the story, which, believe it or not, appears to have gotten no more coverage than a picture in the county paper. She also worked hard to make this citizenship happen. It's not easy when someone's 106. Jody is here tonight, along with your mother and daughter. Hi, Jody. Let's get a microphone to you. Hold on. Thank you. There we go. So, talk to me for a minute about why this was so important to you, for your grandmother to be able to do this.
When my grandmother was 105, it was 2005, she became ill, and we were making plans and arrangements figuring that this was going to be it. And while my mother and I were tag teaming visits back and forth to, keep her fed and keep her going, she told me a story. And she said that when she was working as a migrant farm worker at the age of 7, that she used to crawl through the sugar beet fields in Kansas, thinning sugar beet plants. And as her health continued to decline, it no longer seemed like enough to me to have her simply buried in America. I wanted her buried an American. And so I initiated the process and sent letters off to a group of legislators and asked them to help facilitate her naturalization as a citizen. Mark Dayton's chief of staff, Shuba Harris, was instrumental in getting it done.
Well, it's a great story. Thank you for sharing it with us. We thought one of the best ways to capture Marie's story here on In the Loop would be with some music. So when I got back from Little Falls, I got my notes together and wrote up a song in honor of Marie Ring. 1, 2, 3. Ice floats down the Volga at night, a scene from a century before, covered with straw that someone set alight, and a little girl watches from shore. Germans brought there to work on the land, they could feel the ground starting to shift. The blacksmith, her father, put boards on the windows and set the whole family adrift. The house would still be there and they could return if they didn't like what they find. But the Russia they left and the years that would follow took everyone they left behind. The little girl lies in a vast Kansas field, head to toe covered in beets. Everyone helping to bring in the yield. She's safe and warm underneath 5 states working crops till they set down to dairy. 5 brothers, 5 sisters and her. The good Lutheran path is to grow up and marry, but young Marie isn't so sure. Maybe a nurse would be something to shoot for, but there's no high school in town. At age 36, with an old childhood friend, she finally does settle down, and the years go by. You can't wonder what might have been with a good man. Children, life starts again. Hundredth birthday, family on hand. Grandma gets down on the floor, does 10 sit-ups to show that she can. They're all afraid she'll do more. 40 years now since her husband is gone, had 1 son taken away. Passes each day with the radio on, with an ear to the news of the day. Well, she lives alone till 101. That headstone she bought has to wait. Turns out there's still something that she hasn't done. She proves it's never too late. Marie at 106 sits in bed. At her side is the government man, and she won't hear so well when the document's read, but you can't pry the flag from her hand. Ice floats down the Volga at night, a scene from the century before, covered with straw that someone set alight, and a little girl watches from shore. Thank you.